After getting a mower back up and running, that should be enough for you to put up for sale, right? And technically you would be fine doing so, but you could be leaving money on the table. That's because you can always make the sale slightly better with just a bit more work. But you do have to be careful though, because if you put too much time into it, you'll have a tough time getting your money back out of it. But how much time and effort is too much? Well, you're about to see it. In today's video, we're going to be looking at this Murray lawnmower. And the problem is that it starts and runs, but we need to do the last bit of maintenance to it before we can sell it. Not only that, but if we want to ask top dollar for it, we need to do something about these worn out front tires. Otherwise, the customer could use them as a bargaining chip and offer a much lower price for it than our asking price. If you saw the last video on this mower, we got it running, and obviously that's the most important part of the repair. But just because it's running doesn't mean it's running at or near its best, which is important to me. And one of those reasons why is because the mower is shaking quite a bit, and the culprit was a blade that's beginning to wear away, causing it to be unbalanced. Besides that, with part of the blade missing, it's not going to mulch the grass clippings like it should, so replacing it would be a good idea. On top of that, you can also use it as a sales point since most consumers don't like dealing with them. We also installed a new brake cable on this mower since the original one was broken and beyond saving, even for me. Most new cables are not that expensive, so getting a new one will allow it to last for a long time. Now, there's nothing wrong with servicing the cables to get them to work better, but they'll have to be serviced yearly to keep them that way. And speaking of servicing your mower, we'll be inspecting the valve clearances, which is something I'd recommend doing after several years of use, which definitely applies to this one. Now, I know some are going to say that they bought their mower to be used and abused, and when it stops running, they're just going to buy another one. But for those that don't have extra money just lying around to be used, it makes sense to try and make an expensive mower last as long as it can. This mower is over 10 years old, which is a huge milestone for something like this, but those years are beginning to catch up real quick. But of course, the most important part of any service is an oil change, so we'll be doing that first. However, it is important that we get the oil hot to do a decent oil change, but you don't need to mow with it. Just letting it run for several minutes should be good enough. So it's been running for a bit and it should be good and hot. Let's see how it starts back up. So that's interesting. It started right back up, which is what you want, but what this shows is that the valve clearances might be very close to spec. Of course, that is the point of our inspection. We need to find out, and if it is out of spec, we'll make our adjustments. We're going to find out here pretty soon after we get out all that dirty oil and put the mower on the table. Now, by the look of this oil, I'm pretty sure this oil is not 12 years old, which means someone changed it out at some point, which is great news. Next up are these terrible looking wheels, which gives us an idea about how much time is on this mower, and it's safe to say it's a lot. Yes, we could just replace these wheels and tires, but because the mower is front wheel drive, these wheels are priced at about $25 a pair. So they aren't the most expensive wheels to buy, but they're still not super cheap either. But as you can tell by me cutting the old tires off these wheels, I'm going to put some used ones on them instead. I'm doing this only because there's no saving them, so I'm not going to even try. Besides that, this is much quicker. But if you are going to do this, make sure you're as careful as possible because you could hurt yourself. There are other ways of taking off the old tires, so this is not your only option. Now that the old tires are gone, here is one of the used ones we're going to install. And as you can tell, this one looks like it had a lot less use than the ones we just took off. So I'm going to take the wheels off the mower for this next part, but you could just leave them on. But I will let you know, the way I'm about to do it is a lot easier to deal with. Of course, the used tires had to come from somewhere, so let me show you the wheels they came off of. The strange part about the wheels is that they came off a mower without self-propel, so the wheels don't have any metal inserts. That means they didn't intend on them lasting for a long time, so just keep that in mind if you thought about just swapping the wheels around. So I find that having the wheels in a horizontal position makes it easier to work with, but you need to find a way to keep the wheels stationary. Otherwise, while you're struggling to put the tire on, the wheel is going to slide around the table, making it kind of frustrating. But to make it even easier to install the tire, I placed it in a location to get it really nice and warm. Now that could be in a warm oven, in a sunny spot, or even in your car if it happens to be summertime. It doesn't have to be extremely hot, it just needs to be warm enough to make the tire very soft and easy to work with. But if you've never done this before, just expect this to take several minutes, and if you do get frustrated, you might want to walk away for a few minutes. But after a few minutes of struggling and a few choice words, we now have a decent looking wheel and tire combo. It could use a quick cleaning, but we can always do that later on. Since we do have the wheel off the mower, this would be a great time to clean and lubricate the contact points. This will make sure that corrosion will be less likely to form there and also reduce wear and tear. Now you obviously don't need to do this, but the results are going to amaze you because the mower is going to roll a lot better. You can use it as a selling point, but when I did, most buyers didn't understand what they were reading. So now I just let the mower speak for itself when they push it around and realize how easy it is to use. Next up is inspecting the valve clearances, and they're important because if they're out of tolerance, it could affect how the engine starts and runs. What happens is after some time, they can slowly change due to wear and tear, and with this mower being as old as it is, it's going to need an inspection. You don't need to take the top cover off, but I find it easier to rotate the engine with it gone. But if you want to make it even easier to rotate the engine, then I would take out the spark plug so you don't have to fight the engine compression. Once out, this would be a great time to look at the spark plug and see if there's anything wrong with it. But quite surprisingly, this one looks to be almost brand new with only a small amount of runtime on it. Now this is interesting because if you add the new spark plug to the cleaner than it should be oil, it points to someone maintaining this machine. But when you see what's hiding under the valve cover, it'll start to come together. But just be careful when taking it off because if you're a bit rough with it, you could damage the gasket. These gaskets are not expensive, but you can reseal it with gasket paper or some light gasket sealer. Next, we're going to rotate the engine until one of the rocker arms is all the way down and the other one is up and loose, which is the one we're going to look at. So I like to set my clearances to 5/1000 of an inch, and I'll use this feeler gauge to do it. But if you think the clearance should be a different value, then by all means use that value. This is the one I choose though. We'll then carefully slide the feeler gauge into the clearance, seeing how it fits in it. And even though the gauge was kind of loose in the clearance, it wasn't off by much. In fact, it was only off by a tiny amount, which is not something you would find with an engine of this age. But because we're here anyway, I guess we might as well adjust it. However, I would understand if you decided not to do anything. Now to make the adjustment, you'll want to hold the nut while loosening the bolt in the middle. Once you do that, we'll then be able to turn the nut until the feeler gauge just barely fits in the clearance. And once you are happy with it, you then tighten the bolt while holding the nut to lock in your setting. We'll do this one and then rotate the engine so the arms switch positions and do the same procedure on the other arm. So here's a bit of information. When you do this the first time, the clearances will typically be out of spec by a lot. But the part that doesn't make any sense is that these readings aren't like that, which can only mean one thing. It points to the possibility that this mower was somewhat maintained, which is something I don't typically find. That's because when I find a project like this, they're usually beaten into the ground and not maintained to the point that they're only good for parts. So you have to understand how taken back I am. I finally get to see a mower that's been kept in working order. It's just something you don't see every day, so I'm going to relish this moment. Before you put the valve cover back on, take a look at the gasket and make sure it's not badly damaged. Because if it is, you could end up with a slow oil leak that could put the engine at risk. That's because if you're not paying attention, the oil could get low enough that the engine will start to wear out faster than it should. Yes, you can live with that oil leak, but you'll have to remember to add oil once in a while. However, if you get complacent, things could turn bad. Now, if you want to, you can take this chance to replace the spark plug, but as for me, I'm not going to, and that's just a personal choice. I don't replace them unless I have a good reason to, which is when it's having starting or running problems. But this mower is starting and running well, so I'm going to keep using the same one. I've also been told that if you're having starting and running problems that the coil might be bad. If that's the case, this would be a great time to replace it. However, I find that coils don't fail very often. Luckily, the coils are not that expensive, so replace them. However, I would keep the old one in a box just in case it doesn't fix your problem, and you can always send a new one back. Okay, so I say that each and every item we look at is very important, but this time I really mean it. The oil you put into your engine can either keep it running for a long time or destroy it in a very short time. It's very important that you add enough oil to the engine to keep it well lubricated, but if you don't, it will shorten its life. To do that, check it multiple times until you're sure the reading is consistent and near the full mark. But if it's not, just like this one wasn't, then add a few ounces of oil until it is full. And even though I'm 100% sure that it is full, I'm still going to check it again after our test run, but it is your choice. And that's because it can be really tough to read the dipstick, but it should be easier to read after running it. So it's been running for several minutes, and even though I know it'll start, let's see how it does. And just as expected, it started with no issues, which is the way it's supposed to be. But if yours takes several pulls to start, then you might want to inspect the valve clearances. But like most repair people say, the carb might also be the problem too, so make sure it's good before you discount it. This mower starts and runs, has a new blade, new brake cable, and the oil's been changed along with the air filter. The drive system's also been serviced, not to mention replacing those front tires, so I really don't know what else we can do to get this mower ready for sale. So my question is, what else are we missing on this mower to get it ready for our sale? But if we do, would I have to ask even more for it to cover the cost? What do you think? Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate your time here. Please feel free to ask me any questions about this project or about your own projects, and I hope to see you in the next video.